In 3, 2, 1, you're live with Don Poe, and I'm going to give it to you. So check this out. You see these pictures over here? What's that look like to you? What does that look like? Because the top one is Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of the Vikings, right? That's the home of the Vikings up there. Oh, yeah. You should look at their government right now and who's running that city and some of their laws and the way they treat some of the people around there. It's kind of strange to me that that's the home of the Vikings, that Paul Bunyan came from Minnesota. Then on the bottom here, wow, look at that one. Now, me, when I see that, I do not see America at all in any form or fashion. That's Dearborn, Michigan. Now, I'm from right down the road in Toledo. It's a little ways down there. Now, myself, I am very culturally, well-versed and accepting of other cultures and things like that. To the extent I like to go out to eat, and I love to go to an Italian restaurant and go in, and there's like real Italians there cooking your food. I love that. I like to go to a Mexican restaurant and, same with Chinese restaurant, all the different foods and, the culture behind that. But at the end of the day, those are proud Americans that will fly the American flag, not a foreign country flag. Now, here's where we have problems in America. We're getting really fed up with a lot of things from different cultures and the way people act, all the way to the religion that they practice and how far they're willing to push it in society. I myself am what you would call agnostic. Okay, I'm more tangible, hands-on. I don't have a God I worship. There's no God for me to worship, okay, put it that way. But I am in tune with the universe and people and feelings and the spiritual connection we have with everything going on around me. I'm more apt to believe Star Wars deep philosophy than these religions that people are practicing. I'm not going to get into that. That's a different subject for a different time. I was going to bring you the truth about 3-Eye Atlas, but we're still doing some more research. I'm going to bring a really hard-hitting episode on that. But let me ask you this. Isn't America a Christian country? Isn't it founded on Christian morals and principles? Now, the root of Christianity is to have acceptance and love for each other, for fellow man, and it's a great principle to follow. It's amazing, and off of that, they built things like America, for instance. It was built off of Christianity, off of people going to church. A lot of you will have different ideologies on how America was built. Now, do you want to talk about how America was financed during different times and all that? We're not going to get into all that. We could. I could explain how America was truly built during the industrial age, where people physically, tangibly built America, like bridges, roads, and buildings. I'm not talking about agriculture as in creating revenue and money, which was all spent during a war to, make America even greater and even more free for everyone, regardless of race, religion, creed, or color. Literally, America's built on that. But America, our forefathers, never in a million years thought that we would have sitting senators and Congress people that are actively from other countries. First off, you shouldn't even be allowed to hold public office on a federal level if you are not an American citizen. I firmly believe that. This Omar douchebag woman, I mean, are you serious? Do you listen to stuff that comes out of her mouth? She's an admitted racist. It's appalling to me that people even see race anymore, that we live on a planet that is divided with these colors of these flags and these, what is that thing that they're all wearing there that says, hey, I support terrorism? That's what I see. I don't see anything other than that. If it's some religious garment, wow. I don't look at it like a priest wears the collar, or a nun wears the habit. I don't see that. When I see that thing there, I see terrorism. I see, even when people hear the words "God is great" spoken in other languages, sometimes in America, the immediate thing is, oh, that's anti-Christian. That's you want to behead me. Now, why are there some Americans that are so twisted in their minds that they will go out there and support this and march with these people and say, yes, free Palestine? Free Palestine. Why are people, listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend wars, and I'm not going to go all in depth on fighting over land and religions, because all the turmoil and bullshit and all that's rooted from a culture that isn't American. So when you take Middle East ideologies, morals, and principles, and you bring them into American culture and you try to ingrain it in the fabric, it does not work, because it's two conflicting ideologies, two different religions. It's not going to work. Why are they trying to force it on people? How is it that there's a prayer to call at 5 in the morning for a mosque in America? If I lived close to a mosque, I'm already up at 5 in the morning. But let's say it's Sunday and I want to sleep in, and then I hear some language I don't understand being blared out of a loudspeaker. That's the equivalent of, let me think of the right artist here. That's the equivalent of some sort of drill rap being blared in my ears at 5 in the morning. That's the equivalent of that. Or any music for that, any noise. No, we're not doing that. We're not. Why are there signs wrote in other languages than English? Why are there still people that don't know English? How do you live in America and you don't practice or try to ingrain yourself into America? What happened to the 1980s immigrants that had the "I love New York City" shirt on? It was like, America, I love America. Where did those people go? Somehow those immigrants were replaced with "Death to America, death to America." How in the fuck did we let this happen? This is all on us. Listen, I want America to move forward with the melting pot, because melting pot means to blend together. The pot is America. The pot is not Pakistan, um, oh, Nigeria. That's not the pot. Those people are coming into the American pot and they're supposed to melt in and become American, not keep doing this. I love to see the Mexican flag being flown during the month that we celebrate Mexican Heritage America month, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? But I don't want to see it over top of the American flag. I don't want to see a street full of people that are trying to say, we're going to take America back because it belonged to Mexico. Well, guess what? Mexico belonged to somebody before the Mexicans. These people are beyond me with this. This is taking land. America's taking land from the Indians. The Indians, first off, wow. Okay, let's break this one down real quick. This is an easy one. I like this one. I did a lot of research on it. So, the way the human mind works, it's conditioned over time. If you are a warring people that have been battling each other with hatchets and Assyrian-made knives. Do you know what an Assyrian knife will do to you? Woo! Imagine ceramic knife on crack. Woo! Boy, it'll open you up. The art of scalping, slavery practiced by Indians on each other. Okay, they made treaties with each other. They had their own little shit going on here in America, right? But all in all, they were being pretty brutal. Go down south to the Aztecs and the Mayans and all that. I mean, these people are ripping live babies out of humans and throwing them off, thinking they're going to get crops to grow. Okay, so then people come along and modernize these people, say, whoa, 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 stop all this barbarity and all this savagery. You're out of control. And they calm them down, and we become what we are today of America. Now, if we want to return the land, do we return it to each Indian tribe in America to govern it how they did during their times? Well, guess what? Huh, you're not going to like that. I mean, just the idea that you're going to even go back in time, first off, these are the people that you have to deal with in society. The what ifers, like, what if this and what if that? Okay, then you have to deal with, well, the past people that are like, this happened and that happened. Yeah, it happened. Get the fuck over it already. What more do you want? Like, they want more explanation or more to dwell on or more misery or more complaining or more. What the fuck more is there to want? Because I can't see much more to want. Motherfuckers are running around with, there's homeless people with fucking iPhone 16s. People get welfare and they're morbidly obese. People get welfare that don't need it at all in any form or fashion and get upset and angry when people call either them out on it or to rationalize it. I mean, to rationalize one's actions, it's almost self-preservation. They will say, do, and anything in order to make their point valid. Remember this. But once again, you see these two pictures? Yeah, that's Minneapolis, Minnesota. Once again, the home of the Vikings. Yeah. And then down there you have Michigan. That there's Dearborn, Michigan. Now I wonder what Dearborn was really founded on. I wonder how many Christian things are going on there, because once again, this is America. You can't take over cities. How did they let this city get taken over? It's cool if a bunch of Muslims want to live together. No, I love Muslim people, as a matter of fact. Love them. Know a bunch of them. Have admirable respect. Because I'm going to tell you, as America would be better off flipping over, to tell you the truth. But it's too late for that. There is no, we're going to just flip America around and start ruling Islamic rule. That's not going to happen. That's unfathomable to even believe. The gay community, first off, should be in arms over that, because you ain't going to be doing them things with. I mean, come on, man. Do y'all know what these cultures practice and the way that they rule and the way they rule their households and stuff? Very good, if you ask me. Steal too many times in the right country, you'd be running around with a nub. In America, you would have no armed people running around. Okay, so let that sink in about who do you want to rule and run things. Then furthermore, M1H1 visas to replace American workers. Right now, the polls, the actual where we're at in the workforce, there are more Americans working those jobs than foreigners. It went way down. Over 170 some thousand truck drivers have just been fired, got their license deported. Well, how in the hell did they get goddamn license if they can't even understand fucking English? This shit is beyond me. You got California governors like Gavin Newsom that just is handing out licenses to everyone. Well, fuck, I could move to California and get a goddamn license again? Probably not, because I habla inglés. That's another great culture. There's a lot of great cultures. The Spanish culture, great. With family, food, and oh man, goddamn. I always go back to that, man. So, I'm hungry. But my favorite food's Mediterranean food. you know? But that's a beautiful thing about America. You're supposed to be able to bring your things here and say, hey, I'm from here and I'm proud of being from here, but I'm an American. But hey, check this out. I know how to cook this. I know how to make this. I know how to practice this and do that. It's not supposed to be, hey, I'm in America now, and being that I'm in America, I'm going to fly my flag from my country proudly. I'm not going to convert. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get angry and upset with people for not converting to my way of life. That's really what it bears down to, correct? Now that we're on to this, I want to touch real quick on religion because this is a touchy one. Ooh, wee. Ooh, I don't like losing followers. Do you guys want to hear Christ is King? Who's over Christ? God, correct? When did Jesus become over God? It's like when I was a kid. Now, I want you to know, growing up, I went to Baptist school. There was a Baptist church across the street that I went to. And all through my life, I have practiced religion. As an adult, I became Catholic. I went through catechism classes as an adult, received the rite of elections, and was officially rebaptized and also received confirmation. And I've also went to receive the holy water for St. Charles Borromeo, sorry, and receive the water from a cardinal. So that's pretty cool. I've done some pretty cool things. And I was a Knight of Columbus, one of the youngest Knight of Columbuses. So that I've made great accolades within the religious community. Love that. I'm charismatic. But that's when I was in the Matrix. And I was naive and I was not educated fully on history. And when you say history, people immediately think of, oh, you're talking about wars and you're talking about slavery and you're talking about, man, that is like, that's layman's history. That's weak. That's dog water history. That shit ain't nothing. I'm talking about celestial history. I'm talking about history that reaches back beyond dinosaurs. I'm talking about a planet that used to be here that had been destroyed in our solar system, and now we have the asteroid belt, and that's where Mars and our moon has came from. So people, I mean, there's so many things people just don't know because they're not educated, and not to mention we are learning things at an exponential rate. Knowing that, do you know how a sun is created? The gas that falls in on itself, so much of it, so heavy, so much, just keeps compacting until it makes nuclear fission and becomes whatever type of sun, depending on how much mass it was. All blah, 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 blah. You know that, right? You didn't? You do? You understand? Okay. And then from that, as it's being made, it checks things and matter gets thrown everywhere and other things come around and collide. Eventually, at some point in time, boom, you got a solar system, right? We got galaxies. There's trillions of stars out there. There's, I don't know the number of planets. So it's naive to think that there's not life out there. It truly is. So when knowing that and knowing that some of those are so much older than ours. Now look at what's going on here with I believe in this culture. I believe in this God. Humans have been on the earth 750,000 years. Modern humans, 98,000, and we've lost 95% of our history. Now, we've went back, we found all these from Lucy to the missing link to all these different things, right? trail back Homo sapien lines, all this different DNA, just to come back to we're Homo sapiens, we're humans. These people are just, we're all crazy as fuck when you see some sort of skin color makes you some sort of different human being. That's like looking at dogs differently because they're different breeds. They're still fucking dogs. God damn, people are stupid as fuck with this tribalism shit and lost in, here we go, like I said, religion. So you have ancient religions that date back so long, from Sumerian religions to the Egyptian religions. Egypt, I mean, think about that shit, how long they were there and how much they accomplished. Longer than America's been here. They worship their gods longer than we're worshiping modern gods. Gods evolve. The Jews invented God, by the way. The Christian God, the first mentioned, the creators, inventors of this are the Jews. The Torah, the Old Testament, Deuteronomy, all that good shit, Genesis, yeah. Jews. Jewish people. Right? All right. We all understand that. That's not to be disputed. Okay, and then they broke away and you got the Jesus story and everything. Now you got that faction of religion away from this faction, and then they just keep breaking down and breaking apart. You know what? Check this out. Check dig. The Mormons, they're on to something. Listen, the Mormons, man, shape-shifting Jesus. Man, wait, what? It just goes on and on and on and on. Three-Eye Atlas, maybe that's shape-shifting Jesus coming back. Regardless. Now, let's talk about these gods and what they require and all these other things real quick. So, we'll just touch on Muslim faith here. I know quite a bit about the Quran and the Islamic faith and everything, and I don't have a whole lot. I'm not going to sit here and bash both religions like that. I'll keep it fair and honest. Muhammad, the prophet, it's written that he slept with a 9-year-old and is admitted to do this. And then within that culture, there is some gay stuff that goes on with young men, and it's not right. The hardcore people that are taking the religion so in depth that they can excuse the mistreatment of women to possessiveness to covering their bodies up due to this religion. Does it keep them from whoring around? Yeah, probably. I mean, okay, so that's established there. Oh, in order to get into their heaven, if you want, there's different ways to get in, stated ways. Martyrism is one of them. That's, once again, more extreme people. The whole Allah Akbar, kaboom, and all that shit, and 72 virgins, yada, yada, yada. That's all there. It's written. That's what that's saying. Then there's other things about making the religion the only religion, that it should be the only religion practiced, and that all other religions are false and that they're infidels. Christian religion's doing that also. Now we'll touch back on the Christian religion. When it's just straight God type stuff, like take Jesus out of it and just run with God, it's way more solid that way. Way more solid without Jesus. So you got just God. Now, let's say Orthodox Jews. By the way, Israel is not what people think. I've been more educated on it. I'll have a whole different discussion on that later. But regular God will smite that ass. Boy, regular God sends him in and says, kill everything. Women, children, the animals, everything dies. Then you defy that God. Oh, man, he will punish that ass. Boy, old school God, woo, get out of line, get stoned to death. Oh man, like there's so much with old school God is to be feared. Get in line, or you're gonna get left behind. Old school God don't have a lot of bad. Let me see. Old school God just commands people to do crazy shit though, right? Like, I mean, go and. Well, that was Saul. Saul told David to go bring him 100 foreskins, and he could marry his Palestine, whatever. foreskins to marry his wife or his girlfriend or his daughter. My bad. I'm all over the place. I'm thinking of like 6 different things that I could bring up that are all crazy shit, right? So these are all books that man wrote, by the way. Yes, there was a Jesus, though. There's been a lot of Jesuses. I guarantee you go to Nazareth and there's a bunch of Jesuses around there right now. That's like saying, Jesus and all that. I mean, come on, get out of here with that. Okay, but, okay, let's go back. Now let's get to Jesus. This God, oh man, you got to love Jesus, right? This God is the most narcissistic God of them all. He says, check this out, that the Father sent him. So now he's riding God like, hey, yo, I'm Jesus, but God, he sent me. I'm speaking for him now. I am him. We're all one. Where's the Holy Ghost at? Bring him in. Now, Jesus is straight riding the coattails of God and rides in and says, hey, God told me that, check dig, he's being too mean to everybody, and he wants y'all to get into heaven too. So if you just worship me, not him, me, wait a minute. I'm trying to get to God, but to get to God, I got to worship Jesus? There's a middleman now? Where'd the middleman come from? Oh, well, let's check him out. Okay, well, the middleman says, anybody. All you got to do is believe in your hearts of hearts. Yeah, deep down in your soul. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to say this prayer with me. Jesus, if you're listening, I'm a sinner. And I believe in you, that you were sent here by God. So since God sent you here, and God could only have one son, he could only have one kid. I mean, this is God. He only allowed one kid. And that kid is going to go ahead and sacrifice himself for all of us, for all of eternity, to the unbelievably large amount of people that have gone and come and so on and so forth. He's dying for all of our souls to get up there to heaven with God. But we just got to worship your name, Jesus. In your name, we worship that we get there. And I'm sorry I ate that baby. I'm sorry I did those horrible things. I'll just go on and tell you, Jesus, in order to get there, I got to confess my sins, don't I? I got to give them up to you. Well, I kidnapped a busload of nuns and impregnated all of them. And one by one, I took them babies out alive and I microwaved them with the umbilical cord connected still to the woman while she's alive, microwaving that baby. Boy, you should have heard that baby popping in there. And I pulled him out. I ate him like a big old piece of bacon right in front of that there nun lady. She watched me eat her baby. But you know what? I feel forgiven now. Can I get into heaven? That's Jesus. Anybody? The fuck out of here with that bullshit. I would never respect a God that would let some pedophile piece of shit murderer into their heaven. Okay, now that I'm done bashing, not a fan of Jesus at all, man. Jesus don't fuck the religious game up, boy. He either makes these real passive, like, Jesus loves us all, or he makes these brainwashed all the way, like, no, you don't talk about Jesus. No, I'll pray for your soul. I'll pray for your soul, brother. I'm praying for you for Jesus. Man, just get to God already, dude. I would more be apt for God than Jesus, man. You don't need a middleman. That's like, the Catholics. What's wrong with the Pope then? He's a middleman for God, and he's a tangible middleman. Too much. Okay, so since America is having these battles over religion, there's your religions and what's going on with them. You got the prophet that sleeps with 9-year-olds. You got the God that says kill them all with no mercy, doesn't matter who they are. Then you got his son that comes along and says, hey, I don't care if you eat babies. You can get to heaven through my name because I'm a narcissist. And now you got this. You better hope them aliens really are coming back. You better fall in line or fall behind when they get here. Tell you right now, I'm rooting for them or Skynet, one or the other, because I'm done with your all's bullshit. That's why I live where I live, man. Stay awake, stay aware, educate yourself. Don't be afraid to stand up for your beliefs. Just don't be cutting nobody's heads off. I've been your wayward traveler, Don Poe. Have a great evening. Good night.